What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. Now, in this video, I would like to introduce a certain topic, talking about, quote unquote, the toxic music culture in which we live, called, quote unquote, the United States. Now, this might offend a lot of people, maybe today, tomorrow, or in the distant future. Which, as long as algorithms last, or as long as this content on this channel stays up, might offend a lot of people. Now, the toxic music culture is designed to keep, whether people believe it or not, whether people wish to believe it or acknowledge it or not, because that wall that's in their mind has totally gave them the separation from fact and reality. Whether they want to believe it or not, is to keep certain communities of people oppressed. Straight. Now, people might be like, are you referring to rap? No. We can refer to, actually, if you want to draw color lines, to any genre of music. Serious. We can start with country first, because there's a lot of people who like to, propagate the fact that people try to target the individual. It is what it is. It's not about color being targeted. It's about the actual topic being discussed. Let's talk about country music. Country music is, if you listen, was actually stolen from the culture of people who actually appropriated into society by manipulation and control in the early 1900s from African Caribbean folk, which then actually evolved into what we call rhythm and blues. Because at first it was blues, but then there was a rhythm added to it. Long story short, no need to go to school today. But country music is some depressing shit. Man's getting cheated on. He knew it all along. His wife turned around, did it again. He drunk himself into oblivion and just whacked everybody. Now, most people might be like, well, what do you mean? Do you really listen to country music? You'll listen to exactly what I'm saying is depressing. Okay, let's talk about heavy metal. Yeah, heavy metal talks about death, fornication, rape, suicide, and totally debased behavior. Even in certain instances, even talks about bestiality. Now, let's cross the spectrum. See, this is one of the reasons why I look at it for what it's worth, because I knew that the lates and the greats knew something was significant about this. We need to talk about blues. See, blues is more of a pacing yourself and just kind of enduring what you know is going on around you socially, but you're really not giving into it. Yeah, blues singers, they drank, they did their little thing, went to little, speakeasies, whatever. Yeah, but at least they didn't put a gun in their fucking mouth and got there and blow their fucking brains out because they were just totally dissatisfied about a social structure. Well, let's evolve. Let's go into, quote unquote, 60s. Okay. Now you have certain names that were, popular, certain genres. You do your own research. If you know where I'm coming from, you know exactly what it is. It's not a definitive video. This is just general. But you know exactly where they were coming from with certain angles because it's talking about the struggle and the actual occurrences of that time, which mainly in the 60s was civil rights. So you had a lot of people who were actually proactive. And one person was just revered recently as known, quote unquote, strange fruit. You know who it is, don't have to explain it, was actually attacked by the United States government in her own individual life because of what she said about it. Now they tried to actually plant drugs on her, try to slander her character because COINTELPRO at the time under gay Edgar Hoover, yeah, I said it right, was actually trying to do that to actually detract from her actual vocalization. And she also refused to sing her music at integrated venues. Let's even go even further. Okay, into the 70s. 70s was kind of more tilted down as opposed to the groove ideology of life. Instead, let's get out the funk. Notice that was a genre too, which came the early 80s. Let's get into the groove. So it's more like a groove progression. But this also attracted disco music, and it also attracted a certain diaspora to actually think that they can actually have rhythm like us on the disco floor. Sit your tired, unseasoned ass down. Because when we was rocking the froze, bell bottoms, yes, I have some. Yes, you can call them what you want when I wear them in public, but I got some authentic. But this was called individuality. Now let's progress into 80s. 80s music degenerated into a series of conflicting views and ideas because, the crack era hit hard. So it's more a repressed approach to thinking about the genre of music as opposed to coming out the groove and then going into the chaos. Because now it's like a plight, it's a struggle, it's a war. Because progression was coming from when people actually had a higher frequency into what they were actually digesting in their internalistic music tendency. Straight up. Now into the late 80s, early 90s, that's when Universe created me to be born to say this message to you today to preserve that same history. This is where things got a little bit controversial. Because people knew what the quote-unquote establishment was doing to them in regards to their response, they became vociferous. They became spoken. And this is where the art of quote-unquote spoken word comes from the late and the greats who actually improvised a way to actually provide a particular knowledge to show you that this is the problem. We're not the problem to each other. And what we need to do is basically fight the power. Public enemy for those people who were born in my era. If you're not, so sad that it has totally evaded your senses. Now, from let's say, early 90s to the early 2000s, the transition took place. This is what I call a transition. Because a lot of people who call themselves, quote unquote, 90s babies and so forth, you weren't even old enough to listen to certain music. Just like 2 Live Crew, when their music was actually boycotted for actually exploiting women and saying certain things and went to federal court, you notice how that doesn't happen today? It doesn't happen. But I'm not going to put the cart before the horse. We're going to progress. So now when the transition came place, now it's the 2000s. So now it's the commercialization of the Negro. It's the image of the chains, these tacky ass suits, big sneakers, big clothes, so forth and so on, perpetuating that this is how we actually look like and live. Now, transition into the later 2000s, what do you have? Now, I know this is going to offend a lot of people, and I know it will, but it doesn't matter. The truth often does. You have what is called faggot rap. So, from my era, where we was actually toting straps and wearing khakis and fighting against the oppression, y'all want to be gay. Got y'all in some of the most ridiculous clothing ever. Now, again, as I said in the previous video, these people that make these clothes don't like you. They don't care. They come from racist division. They feel that their brand should be put on this type of person, not your ass. Y'all walk around here buying Gucci, Chanel, Fendi. All of these things are actually propagated as names of families that actually are a majority homosexual. Yes, people, you might not like that. You might want to get a return on them $450 motherfucking flops you got, because them bitches ain't talking about nothing. I could go to Dollar General and spray paint a pair of them bitches. It's the same shit. But now, as you understand what's actually progressing to this day, is that now they have Lil Nas X coming from heaven depicted as going to hell and giving Satan a lap dance. And this is not the truth. No, excuse me. And this is the sad fact of the truth. But this is not the truth that they're depicting to you. The sad fact, the truth, is going to get worse. Because somebody's going to follow in this guy's footsteps. Believe what you will. Believe what you want. But truth is stranger than fiction. Real shit. And the thing that people don't want to understand or ever come to a cognizance of is why do you think they're bombarding you with so much of everything at once? 2020 was a year where they took all of these decades of what I just described and put it in 1 year. And boy, oh boy, was the pressure great. Was it great? And people couldn't handle it. They were cracking at every angle. They were breaking it into pieces. Straight. Couldn't handle it. And they took this information that you use socially, and they took your complaints, they took your grievances, they took your Twitter accounts, and they took your Google account, they took your YouTube subscriptions, whatever the case may be, and they compiled it into one big ball of bullshit, which they're going to keep doing as long as you keep inviting yourself into that culture. Now, men of age and those older, which I can learn from because I'm young still, I'm a young man, and for the future generation, don't ever equivocate yourself to being a man by what you have. Okay? Because I know the toxic rap culture is basically trying to make you think you have to spend what you get in order to be somebody. No, first you have to be somebody. See, money don't make the man, man make the money. You know, straight. So just because I'm not driving a certain vehicle, I'm not living a certain way, I'm not going to clubs every night, and I'm not the known guy on the scene, I'm not anybody. Well, let me show you a significant truth. This tank top I'm literally wearing, literally, to this day. I've owned this tank top since I started my YouTube channel. Oh, this chain, I literally own this same chain. It's real since I started my YouTube channel. Hasn't faded. I do not give a fuck about what people think about me. The moment you do that, you buy into this toxic culture called America. Straight. And it's nothing more than commercialism, whether it's murder, whether it's goddamn consumerism, it's all the same shit. It's a capitalist society. But I don't give a fuck what people think about me. Does that mean I don't have clothes? Yeah, I do. I wear my good shit when good shit's supposed to be worn. I don't wear good stuff just in case I may accidentally run upon somebody who might approve of my outfit. Get the fuck out of here. Sometimes the less you have publicly, the better. Why do you think all so quote-unquote elitist people actually have a demeanor and a certain courage to go out in public wearing some of the dumbest shit? Because they don't want to be recognized. Only people who want to be recognized are people who don't have shit. So now when it comes down to this culture we call music, these people are leasing their jewelry. They are literally leasing their cars. They are contracted with multi-corporal entities, also known as corporations. And what they're doing is they're taking the money that they got from the advance and placing it into place just to get an image to try to sell more records to you so you can fuck your neighborhood up and white suburbia can live like these people. And you just learned a very significant truth in less than 14 minutes. Why can't people see this? I don't know. But I do know because the God of this world has totally blinded their consciousness. I don't have a chance. I don't want to drive no fucking Lamborghini. First off, it's bad enough for me in America in certain places to even walk down the street. You think I want a $350,000 to $500,000 fucking vehicle walking? No. No. Not at all. That's fucking psychotic. Attention whores want that shit. Give me a Ford Leaf, whatever they call them bitch ass cars that run on half electric. Somebody correct me in the comments. Give me a piece of shit. Give me something that I could work with. Fuck, I'll drive a goddamn Beetle if it keeps me goddamn off the spotlight. Because the truth is, real power lies in silence. It's not boisterous. It's not out there. Just look at me. Hell, as you can see, in the previous years, from 2018 to 2021, how many people that we've seen on the music scene have died? But the corporation that they actually signed to owns all their royalties and are still getting paid off these people to this day. And will still get paid off these people to this day while they lie somewhere dark and cold. First time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. Is what it is. Thanks to all my supporters who support my channel. Keep it coming. Days get better. But remember, my word of motivation before I sign out. Remember, you're blessed, not blessed. You're fortunate in the stress. Trust me. So what's going on around you does not depict or should not depict who you really are. Stay tuned for the next upload, y'all. Peace, light, love. Agents, fuck you. Especially y'all motherfuckers that spitting this poison out here into our communities.